Alright, so welcome to another Cheap Hammer battle report. This time it's gonna be another battle report against ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. And it's gonna be 1,000 points of vampire counts against 1,000 points of the Empire. As mentioned before, I stated how I usually do those lists and keep the random factors just in order to keep things as balanced as possible. And considering the flow of this battle, I think it went pretty well. I think the first one was the beta test, the 500 points. It went actually quite good. And this one went absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's learning, maybe some of the details they keep it in the database, some of the details are just like you keep reinforcing, or maybe the machine is just learning. But I mean, overall, I think it was very satisfactory, and this is going to be a very good battle report. Anyway, so let's get down to the list to streamline this as fast as possible. Now, for this battle report, I'm not going to do the claps to make it, or for this recording, I'm not going to use the claps to change pictures because that really didn't work with the software that I use. So I'm just gonna make a big pause just to see with the graphic of the sound when the pauses happen, and then I know when to change the images. Anyway, so for the list of Empire, we got a great cannon. From order of right to left, it's a great cannon, a Hellblaster volley gun. Behind it, there are 10 riflemen. With next to it, a unit of 25 halberdiers. There's a wizard with battle magic and a captain of the empire with great weapon. I think it was. I think it was. I think they didn't put. We didn't put any additional weapons on it. I think the wizard had a dispel scroll, and that was about it. Next to it, there's a unit of skirmisher archers. Next to the unit of halberdiers. The handgunners are detachment of the unit of halberdiers, so that's that. And 10 knights of the white wolf. I think they're carrying great hammers, so great weapons. That's about it for the list of empire. On my side, I played the vampire counts, and I got 2 units of dire wolves. Next, from order to right to left again. 2 units of dire wolves, 1 unit of zombies. Next to it, a unit of 28 skeletons. Next, a unit of 14 graveguard with a white king in it and an independent necromancer behind it. Next to it, another unit of 25 zombies, and next to it, a corpse guard with the whip and the balefire blaze. Now, my strategy was pretty simple because when he deployed, he started with the Hell Blaster and he put it in the middle of the battlefield. So basically, I knew that the Hell Blaster was in the middle to put pressure into my battle line because either if I was going to come from the left or the right, the Hell Blaster was pretty much just going to destroy my units, and I had to put the Corpse Guard on the other side because I knew that if the cannon could get one single shot against it, it would just wipe that out. So my strategy is basically just using the 2 units of dire wolves to get as fast as possible to the cannon, take it out, and use either my unit of zombies or my corpse guard or whatever to try to just pin his unit of Knights of the White Wolf when they come for the charge, and then uh, just kill them with the Great Guard. And then use the other units, just the zombies that are close to the dire wolves and the 28 skeletons, to slowly just take cover. And once they are in the open, try to get as fast as possible to his battle line to try to take out the handgunners and the Hell Blaster and everything. And probably, or hopefully, they will be supported by the dire wolves on the right flank. So that was my whole strategy. Anyway, so yeah, that's the lists. And for my Necromancer, I have Battle Lust and Doombolt. And for his Wizard, he got Fireball and Arcane Conveyance. Conveyance Spell, I think it is. Arcane Urgency. Anyway, so let's go to the next picture. Okay, so for the next picture, what he did is he advanced his unit of knights and I actually asked the machine, wouldn't you prefer to just like march them so they just get kind of closer? He said no, because that is just going to make the unit just be independent and just too close to your battle line. So I gotta move my whole battle line together or as close as possible. And that made sense later on. So he moved his unit of Knights of the White Wolf, and I think later he used, just to push them a little bit further, he used the Conveyance spell, Arcane Urgency, so he had another move, so he pushed them a little bit further, and his units of, what was it, his units of Halberdiers moved forward, as well as the archers, and the riflemen follow back, just like they move in this way because they cannot finish their movement on top of the Hellblaster. So they move like this just to keep in coherency with the main unit. He took a shot at my Graveguard and took two of them out with the Great Cannon. And that was pretty much out. He also threw a fireball at my zombies and killed five of them. So two Graveguard down and five zombies. Not a good start, but let's go to the next picture. Okay, so in the next picture, what I did is I moved my dire wolves to the front. And that's the thing that I always forget when I put these units. I always forget to use the reserve move. If I keep forgetting to use the reserve move, it's going to bite me in the ass eventually. But unfortunately, it worked pretty well later on. But I got to remember to use the reserve move. But always when I come to with the vampire cons, the problem is like since you don't have anything to shoot except for a couple of magic missiles or vortexes, if you have any wizards, vampires, or everything, you really just skip the shooting phase. So you and the reserve move comes into play when shooting phase. But you just skip it completely and just go for the hits. Or sometimes you get the bloodlust, the typical like bloodlust of Warhammer, and you just want to go straight for the killing and straight for the melee because maybe you have vampires or something like that, or you put some great weapons on your units and you just want to kill the enemy, and then you manage to just skip a bunch of your rules and things. So you have to have a cool head and just think strategically, and use your rules to your advantage. Anyway, so I move my dire wolves to the front, zombies as well. Skeletons move to the front, take a little bit of cover behind the plants. I pivot the Graveguard, and just to get them ready for when the Knights of the White Wolf charge, just to take the charge with my front and do as much damage as possible. And I put the corpse. I actually put the corpse card like that because I wanted to disturb his charge, and I knew that because of the toughness of my corpse card, he wasn't going to be able to do a lot of damage. But I didn't remember that they were equipped with great hammers, so that was terrible. That was a terrible choice. So this is pretty much my attack. I think I threw a doom bolt. I think I threw it at the halberdiers, or maybe I threw it at the archers, but I think it missed. So no doom bolts were successfully casted. I think I threw it at the halberdiers and I killed two of them, but there was not that much of damage. I think it was at the halberdiers or the archers. Doesn't matter. So that's that. Let's go to the next picture. All right, so in the next picture, yeah, obviously he charged into my corpse guard, destroyed it, and then uh, just continue on into my unit of zombies, which is a good thing because now he's pinned by my unit of zombies, but it's a bad thing because I just gave him the points of the corpse card for nothing. So I just lost my Balefire Blaze, my whip, my possible charge and impact hits, and so that's not a good thing. And of course, me, the idiot, forgot to do also my reserve move with my doggies. So they're not gonna get close to that cannon, which is pretty much the whole strategy. Is just trying to get close to that cannon, take it out, and then take out his knights, and then just see what works best. But anyway, I got his exposed flank to get to charge with my unit of Graveguard. So yeah, so he charged, destroyed my corpse guard, and then just overrun into my zombies, which is exposing his flank. So that's pretty much it. His unit of handgunners got in front of the Hell Blaster, so he couldn't shoot any other unit. Not that he's in range to shoot anybody, anyways, or that he has anybody in line of sight. There was one thing that was pretty much like it could have been terrible, but the good thing is that my skeletons were there to cover the shot of the cannon. Because the cannon, actually, when I drew the line, it was in a perfect line to get a flank shot to my graveyard, and that could have pretty much just ended the game right there. Because he got a flank shot, a perfect flank shot, and he could have just easily gotten like maybe 9 of my graveyard and completely destroyed. But fortunately, he had no line of sight because my skeletons were blocking his line of sight, so he couldn't get the flank shot. Anyway, he shot at my skeletons, and I think he killed like 2 of them. He got like 8 on his artillery roll, so he could like just kill 2 of them, which is not really significant. Cannons are not made really to shoot like at big units like this unless you get flank shots or something like that, but that's not really reliable because it doesn't do multiple wounds. Cannons are good or are best just to take like big units. But anyway, so we avoided that flank shot, got 2 skeletons off, and I could use the resurrection of the heck to bring 2 of the great guard back. So we're back with full health to unleash hell upon the Knights of the White Wolf. So let's go to the next picture. So charge on the flank of the Knights of the White Wolf. I issue a challenge, and his Preceptor accepted it. So it's his Preceptor, as you can see, the unit's sludge. So it's my White King against his Preceptor, and my Great Guard charging over there his unit. I tried to cast Battle Lust, which is the enchantment that I had with my Necromancer, apart from Doombolt, but I didn't manage to cast it, so it comes down to, Knights of the White Wolf against the Graveguard and the zombies. On the other side, yeah, my dogs are preparing to charge, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So in the next picture, So yeah, I managed to kill a bunch of the Knights of the White Wolf. I think there were like 6 remaining. I killed his Preceptor, and my unit hold. I think his unit lost, but it hold over there. And he charged me on the flank of my Grave Guard with his Captain, with his Halberdiers, with his Mage, and that this was a tight point because I didn't know where the situation was gonna go, and now my unit of skeletons is exposed to his Hell Blaster shots and to his handgunner shots, and also I'm in range to get probably grape shot by the cannon. I forgot to tell ChatGPT that it can actually uh, instead of making like just a cannon shot, he could have grape shot my dire wolf. But for next time, I'm going to just lay out the options because it's important to lay out the options and he takes the most reasonable options because it's not about handicapping the machine. If you handicap the machine, there is no point in just playing, because you're just gonna win, and there's no glory in that, and there's actually no gaming, just like overpowering because of some technicality, something like that. But I decided to take a shot to concentrate shots on my skeletons or and my dire wolves. So let's go to the next picture. All right, so in the next picture, he took a couple of shots at my direwolf, so now I'm down to 4 direwolves on one unit and 2 direwolves on the other one. That's a good thing about vampire accounts and undead creatures. They don't take panic tests, so even if you lose a lot of your units, you can still have one of them and he's still going to march forward. There's no difference. So I'm in charge position with 2 units. I'm pretty confident that I can take the cannon out. And with the charge, still have my Doom Wolf over there. I'm pretty confident that I can just kill that cannon. And I'm slowly marching as well with the zombies and my skeletons. On the other side, the battle is starting. So that was the shots. So let's see how the battle ended on that side. So yeah, my Graveguard and my White King concentrated most damage upon the Knights of the White Wolf, and two wounds were allocated to the Halberdiers. So yeah, I mean, I wiped them completely. I had banners, I had musicians, and he had one charge, one flank. He didn't do a lot of wounds, and his unit and his captain didn't do much wounds as well to the graveyard. So the whole combat resolution came down to the halberdiers. I think they lost the combat by 4, even though they had 3 ranks. They had charge, they had flank, but they didn't do much wounds. So it came down to 4. They lost by 4, and they ran. They ran away from the combat. So on the other side, my units advanced, took a couple of shots with my skeletons from the Hell Blaster, but everything is advancing as I suspected, as I thought. I pursued his unit with my Grave Guard, but I came short by 2 inches. But his main unit is fleeing, so that's a great thing. Let's go to the next picture. So I pursued his unit of halberdiers. His other unit of skirmisher archers just moved sideways 1 inch. Um, but they actually hold. They had to take a morale test, but they actually hold. The handgunners remained, and now it's my turn for the vampire counts, and of course I'm going to charge and just destroy his unit of halberdiers. So pretty much just like that, flank is completely destroyed. From having the advantage at a certain point, this has just completely collapsed on itself. And yeah, I think I threw one Doombolt at his unit of handgunners, and I managed to kill 2 of them, so that helps. And yeah, my dogs are going to be able to just charge his cannon. So let's go to the next picture. I think it's the final one. Yeah, so this is like the last picture. And so actually 4 of my dire wolves got a double 1 for charging, so that was terrible. So they missed the charge, but the other 2 were able to charge the cannon. So since it doesn't have any stand and shoot possibilities, and grape shot is not a stand and shoot thing, so they managed to charge the cannon, so completely pinning it down. So either the zombies get later on, or the other unit of dire wolves come, that flank's completely destroyed. The unit of Graveguard overrun the fleeing unit of the Halberdiers, completely destroying them, and they overrun into the archers. So those archers are gonna be mutilated by my White King and my Graveguard. And at this point, I asked ChatGPT if he wanted to continue the battlefield with his Hell Blaster and his handgunners alone, and he just decided to concede the victory to me. So, pretty good battle, interesting. I thought at first that I had a great disadvantage because of the Hell Blaster. He could pretty much dominate the center of the battle map. I would have played it a little bit different, and perhaps I would have used the grape shots better and used the cannonballs better for him, because there were ways that he could have actually win the battlefield. But again, I think he got too excited with the charging of the Night Wolves, which is not a terrible thing, there is an advantage to it, but it was very straightforward, so he fell very easily into the trap of getting boxed and then killed by the Great Guard. Because of course, you get those first charges and you get an extra attack and everything, but it's not really worth it once you get trapped by the enemy. You still get your great weapons and your warhorse attacks and everything, but they don't really land too much hits. I think in a certain way, I think it was a good strategy with his halberdiers. The halberdiers, when they came into the flank, I think it was a good thing. And it actually made me think that I was going to lose the battle. But I think along the way, the decisions that that the artificial intelligence took, they were not very optimal in the sense that it's could be the spatial awareness, but I think he was pretty aware of the space that he had between his units, and he forgot to do his wizard's attacks, which wouldn't make much of a difference. But I also forgot my reserve move, so that's that. But I think in a certain way he didn't he didn't optimize the usage of his units. He should just move his battle line a little bit more cautiously. Just don't press those knights to go alone into the front line. Wait until maybe your halberdiers can keep up. Maybe make them march. Maybe make them march the one that is like 3 times the march. Maybe make them march in columns so they can just get closer and closer. So when you get that battle line, you can just use a hammer and anvil strategy or something like that. Maybe make them a veterans and just use the drill ability so that you can just reform them and use as much attacks with your halberdiers as possible. I think this was not a very good strategy, but it's certainly the AI has some spatial awareness and knows how to place weapons in a very optimal way. For the next battle, we are going to upgrade this to 2000 points. So let's see how this machine can operate on higher levels of points when it comes to the game. But for now, it's victory for the Vampire Counts. I think it was a very good battle. And well, that was it for this battle report. Hope you like it, and we will see you on the next one.